That was a cute start. Whatever you just said was cute. Was it one knob and the truth?
2 knobs and the truth. 1 knob? Depends on how many knobs you got. A couple knobs and the truth. Let's go with that.
You can be more truthful with less things. Is that a thing?
Sure it is.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about amps.
It's like when you're naked. It's honest.
God, I hate being naked. Anyway, sorry. It's just depressing. Like, oh, it's just weird. That's me.
You're very
That's
vulnerable.
all me, kids.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, it's something. But anyway, I like less things.
I do too.
In my life, I like minimal stuff in my house, but on my amplifiers and my signal chain, less is more to Baxter.
I think that's true.
I don't do pedals really. I do love 2 rocks, but I also love amps like this little old Gibson.
Whoa.
Which happens to have this one giant knob on it.
Beautiful.
And that's about all so I have one of these up in my house too. And that's sort of my main guitar amp in my house.
It sounds awesome in your
It does sound awesome.
Yeah.
If you get it up to about 4, that's all you need. Got a big,
it's echoey.
But
it's floors.
What does it do for you? Why would you suggest that the folks watching this and listening and talking with us right now should have just a simple, bare bones minimum 2 knob?
Glad you asked, Baxter. There's a lot of reasons, right? Like, first off, if you got, 79 knobs and you feel like you're in the control center for like a spaceship, then you have sort of, for me at least, I'm always like, oh, I could probably get the tone a little better. I could tweak this, or I heard this thing, and you have sort of like choice paralysis, right? Where you could sit.
I love that phrase.
I mean, it's
said
a
it
thing.
earlier when we were sort of prepping a bit, and I remember it. That was a great
But you
word.
could sit and do that for an hour and never actually play your guitar, right? Plus, I do think there is something really pure about your sound, like the fewer things between just the output of your guitar hitting your amp. I think there's a purity to that, not to get too out in the ether there, but it also probably lets your different guitars shine the way they're supposed to sound. Like a Strat sounds like a Strat, a Tele is going to sound like a Tele, a Les Paul like a Les Paul, a SG like a SG.
No, I'm playing that Echo Park case study up in my house right now, and it's awesome through the little Gibson. Yeah. It's just, and it's, if I come down here and I put it through like the Mesa Boogie Lone Star or something, I'll look at those knobs, and then I have to remember there's stuff on the back too. And and then this is what I found with, just besides all of what Jonathan said, you will spend more time tweaking it than playing it.
Yep.
That becomes part of the fun. Don't get me wrong. I like tweaking.
It is fun sometimes.
It is like, because when I play the 2 rocks, like a slight tweak of the presence knob is a whole different amp. If I boost that trebles or give a little boost to the mids, which I love the boosted mids on a 2 rock. If you haven't done it yet, do it. But if I get in a Mesa, I'm down there and I'm just using knobs. It's almost like instead of playing the guitar, I'm watching videos about playing the guitar.
Well, you're like tone sculpting, and that has its place, right? Because you do have to know your gear, your amps, and your guitars. But there's something nice about plugging into an amp. The sound is the sound. I think that when you have a certain sound, it makes you play certain ways. So it's nice, maybe it makes you play different than you normally would if you're plugging into a Mesa Boogie or 2 rock.
I think it makes you be a more precise and forces you to try to be a better guitar player to have one. I think that's true too, because there's nothing to hide your goof ups either. I've always, it's something I said back in my sort of strong teaching days, I would never work with overdrive or pedals or anything. Everybody had to play raw and clean, just that's what you hear.
Well, it makes it strips everything away. Like we said, you were vulnerable.
You're naked.
For sure.
Like in my bathroom with mirrors all around, and it's a disturbing sight. It's like that. It's like a house of terror. A horror house. Ugh. Yeah, I know it's terrifying. You imagine Jonathan and Baxter naked walking around in the bathroom and the mirrors.
Don't even think it. That's not a mental image you're gonna want.
Enjoy. Good night, children.
We're just sitting there arm wrestling, naked.
There's a certain, I don't know. It's a dumb word, but it's just fun.
It is fun.
Funness, like having that, and you feel kind of like a badass.
Yes.
It's kind of like, you might have showed up to this gunfight, like the guys that's got his red dot, his AR. He's like semi or full automatic or whatever, which is absurd. And then you show up with your Colt, or your 6-shooter or whatever you got, and you're like that. You're the guy from, what's that show you watch?
Yellowstone.
Yeah, that thing.
I mean, they have a lot of Glocks, so
I haven't seen the show yet, so I don't.
Whatever.
Should I watch this show?
Yes.
I mean, I'm asking my friends.
Anyone who says no, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about you. It's fair. It's good.
Yeah, I'll look for it. I'm going to watch it eventually. My friend that does all the weird hacks,
You just need Peacock TV.
I'm not gonna. I can't get any more streaming services. Too much to keep up with.
Just get rid of one, like a guitar.
No,
then you heard.
Because I buy and keep. I buy and hold. I'm like that. I'm like Netflix year one. I used to get the
37.
Discs. Like, does anybody remember when Netflix used to send discs?
Yeah.
So I got the 2 discs or the 1 disc.
Because that was how it started, right? They sent you and you'd rent them. Oh, I forgot.
It was like Redbox, you know.
Oh my god!
And then when I see a Redbox now, I'm like, ooh, what's that? Yeah. It's almost like it's like going to Blockbuster. It feels old.
My kids see them sometimes. They're like, ooh, cool. And I'm like, well, we have all those on the TV. You just push a button.
Let me watch it now. It's like video games. And,
right.
Well, and that's what we felt like. We started talking about guitar tones. Like, well, there'd be like tone downloads where you just like click. Yes, there will be. 100%.
I mean, I kind of feel like that's already here.
It's there.
I mean, you can already buy. You can buy and download all that for whether it's Helix or Kemper or whatever. It's there.
It's going to become more prevalent. I mean, Fender's purchase of PreSonus and everything just
like it might become more like subscription based like that, right? Like
it might. The exact opposite of the 1 to 2 knob amplifier.
Yes.
No, it is like going back to that. It's a really fun amp if you want to run pedals. It's
a great way to do it.
It's just your pedals and the amp. There's no tone sculpting really. Besides.
Well, there's no like, how does my tone on my amp interacting? It's like, here's the tone of your amp, and you can sculpt everything through your.
But whatever. I go raw with it, and I love it. And so I have it in my house. It's next to my little couch, and there's usually a guitar always on that couch. And if anybody comes up as a guitar player, they always just grab. I like that. They'll just grab the guitar, and then just be playing the volumes low. I have the volume probably set on like 2 or 3, so it's really, really quiet.
Yeah.
But it's enough just where you can have a little fun, and it's a weird sort of raw connection to like a past version of guitar playing to me.
I think that's true.
I feel like, Les Paul is walking in the room with us, and Leo Fender, and
doing these cool little slidey things. Woo!
With this singer just like dancing along her vocal escapades, like wearing her little weird, like Leave It to Beaver Cleaver outfit. It's
good old Mary Ford.
God, it's strangely sexy.
I like the thing where he plays the thing and then she,
that video. If you haven't watched Les Paul doing that, but I mean this is the equipment they are all playing on, and a lot of the equipment you hear these great tracks on. It's just a little champ.
Yeah.
It's like if you have like a great old champ, which I have one of those in the shop too. I can't wait to hear that thing when it's all tooled up. That's the sound of like Layla. That's the sound of a lot of these great recordings are done on these little small 5-watt.
Maybe just a volume, maybe volume and tone. We have new ones coming. Those I can't wait to try the little Magnetone Starlight.
Yeah, those have been coming for a while though. And we have some more of the Fender Deluxe, 57 Deluxes coming, which are amazing. If you haven't played one of those, one of the most like tonally freeing amps. I think that's a 2 or 3 knob.
Because and some of them are like my little Super Comet really is just a volume and a tone. The other 3 knobs, there's the reverb and there's the intensity and the depth for the tremolo. But you just turn all those down and you got a volume and a tone.
It is. It really is something. If you've sort of exhausted your tonal parameters within the world that you live in, do yourself a favor and try to pick up one of these things. If you see one like at a pawn shop or on like Craigslist or something, grab it. Get it. Go to town.
It also will make you use those crazy circular things on your guitar. I know, it's crazy. There are knobs on your guitar that affect how it sounds.
No, those are aesthetic only.
No.
You're ridiculous.
Those little numbers mean something.
It's like earrings for the guitar. That's why I look at those things.
Tone knob. Use your tone knob.
When I was touring the Richard Lloyd touring, like I remember he taught me the gaffer's tape trick where we just gaffed all of our stuff up at 10. Oh, yeah. So because we were playing aggressively, sometimes you don't want to hit it. But
you don't want to be hitting these knobs while you're playing, boy.
That's how I do it. And I was like, that was awesome. It was a little hack, that little life hack from Richard Lloyd.
That is kind of cool.
It was cool, but I use them now quite a bit because I'm old and I think I need to. But back then, I'm still a balls to the walls guy most of the time. That's how I want to hear it. And I know Joe Bonamassa was like, it's a different guitar when you do this. I know it is, but I just want to hear it all in its purity and its strength. And
every bit. Wide open.
Vibrosity. I don't
know if that's a word.
Balls
to the wall.
Balls to the wall, vibrosity. I
heard the other day that actually is like a I think it's maybe World War II, but it was like the little ball on the throttle on the jet to the wall. Like it has nothing to do with, you know, what we think.
But wouldn't it be like jets in World War II?
Not jets, but, you know, like plane. Like the throttle in the plane.
I was like, unless it's like,
Boss to the
Boss to the Wall, unless you're Deutschland.
I don't know. I can't talk about these things. But yeah, it was like it's like a plane
262, yes. Maybe.
There you
If
go.
this was Lord of the Rings, you could talk about it, for goodness sake.
That's true.
I did watch the trailer again. Side note,
That's
we're
true.
almost done. So if you're tuning out, I apologize.
Whatever.
I thought the trailer looked great for the new Lord of the Rings TV series.
I need to watch the trailer. I haven't watched
You haven't watched the trailer yet? No,
I
I thought, because there were some complaints like, oh, they're changing stuff. I'm like, well, yeah, because it's not a written.
Well, they can't really change it because it's like,
not
you know,
existent.
that I think that was a smart play.
Me too.
Can't screw it up when it's outside of the canon.
And they know you're not beating Peter Jackson.
No.
You just got to do something that complements. Like Peter Jackson has the opus. He sort of wrote the Bible on Lord of the Rings cinema.
This is almost like $20 million an episode fan fiction.
Well,
This is almost
they
what
did.
this
I was telling the gang they greenlit it for season 5 up to that, I think. So they have it budgeted for $1 billion. $1 billion. It is. It's family. It's like 50 Shades of Grey, Lord of the Rings version.
No, I mean,
Because that's based on the Twilight series, if you didn't know, which we just saw Batman again, and he was Edward from Twilight series. So it all connects. It's all full circle now. Edward is my one knob. Perfection. I love him.
he's a super predator. And he glistens like a diamond. In this
Look, every part of me was made to kill.
I just remember watching that with my wife and being like, "What?"
Because he is. He jumped on the tree.
I mean, I get
So
it.
good.
And I,
so good
I
watching
actually
the trailer.
did. I read all those books. I read all the Twilight books.
My wife read them in French after she read them in English. Is that
Yeah,
not,
no,
we
that's-
had the
that's more
French
impressive
version of
than mine.
Twilight.
That's insane.
It's really weird. In our bathroom, it's above the toilet. She built bookshelves above our toilets because that's where books should be, is above the toilets too.
Now, my friend Bob taught himself Italian by reading all the Harry Potter novels in Italian. But he's like a super genius.
Man.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool.
So go get yourself a one-up.
Read Harry Potter in Italian, read Twilight in French. It's going to be great.
No, just have fun. Go see movies. Go support everything out there. Just have a great time. But seriously, go try one if you haven't tried one. It
owe it
seems
to
weird
yourself.
because it's a lot of money for something that doesn't do a lot of stuff.
But it does.
But sometimes less is more. It's like, do you want the muscle car or do you want the self-driving autopilot car? You know, I kind of want both.
Both is the right answer.
That is both. Yeah. So I have my Tesla thing, and then I have my scooter that I have to push with my foot. No, but they're magical. That's all we got to say.
There you go. I don't know if we said to hit like and subscribe at the beginning, so I'm going to say it now. Click the bell. Thank you as always for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.
You.